Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tammy. I'm the owner of Walnut Creek Bath Boutique. Today I'm creating just a really simple product, bath salts. So bath salts are super easy, they're fun, and they look pretty on your shelf or on your craft table or on your website too. That's always a bonus. The reason I decided to make some more bath salts are these little paint cans. This little thing, okay, can I just say, is that just so cute? It's got this little key that you can open up the lid like that. I bought these 2 or 3 years ago because they were cute. Seriously. That's the only reason I bought them. I bought them with no plan, no thought of what I would do with them, and here I am trying to figure out what to do with these cans. A few months ago, I put a solid bubble bath crumbles in them. The problem with that is solid bubble bath is not cheap, right? It is not an inexpensive product to make. And I had a price tag of like 22 or so on them, and nobody's going to buy bubble bath for $22. I mean, it was just too much. At my market, it's just too much. So I needed to find something that is inexpensive for me to make and not time consuming, because I want to get paid for my time. So solid bubble bath, you don't get paid for the time it takes you to make that and the money it costs you to make that. I just don't think there's a lot of money in it, at least for me. It's not that I don't like making them, and I'll still make them, but it's not a money maker. My profit margin on those are not that good. So for me to have a product in here that this, I can't remember, I think it was maybe about $2. I'll have to look on my notes. Maybe about $2 a piece. I need to put something in here that's not going to cost a lot of money and not take up a lot of time to make my price point on something so large be worth it to somebody, right? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So bath salts it is, and I like bath salts. So we're going to start with 136 grams of dendritic salt. So dendritic salt is, where is it? That's my Epsom salt. It's in there because it will keep the Epsom salts and all the products in there from clumping. So it's really nice to have that in here. So I'm going to put 136 grams. So I'm going to put some Natrasorb in here. And this helps your fragrance retain. So it's really good for keeping your fragrance nice and strong throughout the life of the product. So we're putting 17 grams of this in here. This is kind of pricey, and I think sometimes it's kind of hard to find. So you can certainly do without it and just replace, with more salt or whatever. And then I'm going to put some Polysorbate 80 in. This is an emulsifier. Same amount, 17 grams of Poly 80 in with this bowl. I'm going to do Sunkissed. So this is a candle maker store. So it's a really bright, clean, fresh scent. Quite nice. So this gets 17 grams as well. So take this off of here. Just gonna mix this in a little bit. This is my bath bomb box. I got this box at Michael's. Isn't that cute? But I have all my colors, and my grow pills are in here. But all my dyes are in here too. Orange. There we go. That's my orange dye. So this is going to take just a tiny, tiny bit. If I want to add more, I can. But it usually doesn't take much of that dye. Okay guys, I'm going to bloom a little bit more of that dye with just a little bit of distilled water and add that, and I think that's going to allow that to pop up a little bit more and be more vibrant. I still don't want a ton of dye in here. I mean, that's way, oops, there you go. That's a lot more. Let me put it down by the white. A lot more than I normally would. So hopefully I won't regret this. That's a lot of dye. That's quite a bit. But with the dye, as opposed to mica, you don't have to worry about it, you know, staining the tub or doing anything like that. It's going to mix with that water really nicely. So that part of having the dye is really nice. Yeah, this is much better. It just needed bloom, didn't it? It looks, I don't know, can you tell? It looks pretty orange right now, but once we put all this white salt in here, it's not going to look near as orange. All that white will definitely dilute it. All right. So now let me kind of get rid of this stuff over here. I decided I wanted to go up to 2% of fragrance in here. So what I'm doing is I stepped away and went to my computer, to my formulation, and I'm going to go up to 2%. And it's such a small amount, it's not affecting my formulation greatly. And it's not a lotion. I'm not, you know, having to worry about like preserving this or anything like that. So I don't have to worry so much about that extra 17 grams I'm adding. So yeah, I think I want it to be a little bit stronger. And now I'm going to add my baking soda. I've already measured out my baking soda. And I'm going to get this mixed in really well. This is 323 grams of baking soda. I should probably do this in my KitchenAid, actually. So it's fizzing and it's foaming. Bath salts. So the next ingredient I'm going to put in here is my SLSA, which is a very gentle surfactant, but it's very harsh on your lungs. So you want to make sure you're wearing a desk mask anytime you're adding anything like this surfactant into here. So I'm going to go get my desk mask. Look at that. It's kind of dirty. I've tried to clean it in my gloved hands. I mean, it just, I want to buy a new one that's a little bit easier. Ooh. Guys, there is probably an easier way to do this than what I'm doing, but this is just how I do it. I'm sure there's an easier way. So, the SLSA was 51 grams. This is citric acid. This is 153 grams. So you can see how pale orange that is now, which is fine. All right. So now I'm going to put my Epsom salts in here. This is 987 grams. Let me bring this over here. I'm glad I added an extra percent of fragrance oil in this. I think it needed that. But look how lovely that is. I could layer this with Epsom salts to make it pretty. So that would definitely reduce the cost of each paint can. And the thing is, I'm not so worried about that as I am the fact that a paint can full of this may be kind of boring. So more so because I think it would be more eye-catching and pleasing to the eye and draw people's attention to it if it really was kind of layered. I think I will layer this with just Epsom salts. So I have 6 paint cans. I also have, let me go get what let me put this on the tray here real quick. So my sheet tray here is clean. I have cleaned it. I put it in the dishwasher and it took the coating off. Isn't that crazy? I never would have dreamed that these things aren't dishwasher safe. That was very disappointing when I took this out of the dishwasher and saw this. It's pretty thick, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is just kind of make sure all that's broken up in there. I'm just going to stir this for a couple days. Come down here every couple times a day, stir it up really well, let it dry out. And let me show you that other can. Guys, I've been talking all year about making better decisions financially for my business. And what do? I've been saying that all year. What do? I buy the wrong size square containers. So this I think is an 8 ounce. I meant to buy a 4 ounce. And I was like, gosh darn it, Tammy. So these are going to be bath salts as well. I'm going to use up my cans and then I'm going to turn and put my bath salts in here. They're really cute. They're super, super adorable. I don't have a problem with that. It's just they weren't the right size I was going for, and now I have like 24 of these. If you have any thoughts on what I can do with this other than bath salts, because again, I need to keep my price point kind of low with these bigger containers. Any thoughts, let me know. But guys, I will see you in a couple days, and I'll give you the price breakdown too for me personally, and then let you know what I'm going to charge for them as well. Okay guys, I'm back, and I basically just left this on my counter. I've been stirring this a couple times so it's nice and dry, and now I'm ready to package it. So what I've done is I've weighed off 30 ounces of Epsom salt into this little container here. And this is just so I can keep track of how much I'm adding to my products, and I can make sure that my ingredient costs are accurate. So the first thing I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to start with the Epsom salt in the bottom of this paint can. And I'm not worried about keeping each layer exactly the same or anything like that. I'm not really worried about that. But I'm going to be somewhat close. And then I'm going to come over here. And I want to kind of smash it just a little bit. I don't want the the layers to get too mixed up. So that is 17 ounces. And I'm going to weigh this and see how much of that 17 ounces is the salts here. So about 9 ounces of the 17 is just the plain Epsom salts. So it's about half. But I think that looks kind of pretty. What do you think? I'm going to get my other ones going. Let's see what we can do here. Honestly, guys, I don't want to make more than 3, right? I want to make sure that these are going to sell. So I think I'm going to figure out my costs on this, so now I know exactly what's in my jars, and be able to do that and figure out how much of this I have left. And I know that I used almost 10 ounces in each jar. I'm just like less than half an ounce of salt left. So let me figure all that out and get my labels printed up and designed and printed, and yeah, I'll just let you know final cost analysis, what I think I can get for them, I'm just going to store this for future use for when I know how these are going to work. I've got them all bottled up, and I have my labels created. And so yeah, I'm pretty happy with them. I think they're really cute. The orange is a little bit more muted than I was wanting. And you know, when I was making the video, guys, I have not been sleeping, so just please bear with me. But when I was making that video and I was pouring in that polysorbate, I was like, what am I doing polysorbate for? My dye, I am using water-soluble dye. I don't have any oils on this, and I kind of tried to like hide the fact that I was completely clueless about why I have polysorbate in that recipe. And I'm sorry. It's just been kind of a rough couple weeks for me. I haven't been sleeping. Anyway, the polysorbate was in my recipe because I've always used this with mica. And when you have mica in your product, you need that polysorbate in there to keep that dispersed in the water so you don't get the mica ring on your tub. So that's why the polysorbate's in there. And I was just like trying to hide the fact. I really was just trying to hide the fact that I was like, what? Sorry. So if you don't use mica, you could probably do away with the polysorbate. But yeah, isn't that cute? I think they're just adorable. I love the little can. I'm going to change this little piece of plastic to put maybe a twine on this, to tie a twine on this instead of this piece of plastic. That will add a little interest. I've thought about wrapping this with the label. That's quite expensive. You know, that takes up a lot of label, and it hides the design. So I ended up just doing the label on the top. So the price breakdown. I have my notes here. So I just made the 3, and with and these 3 were about 52 ounces of ingredients, and the big orange salt base that I made, that cost me $2.49 to make that. I added an additional $1.14 in Epsom salts to go in the middle. So really $3.63 was my total ingredient cost for this 52 ounces. My paint cans were $2.28 each. So that's a total of $6.84 just in the containers. So my packaging is double my ingredients cost. So the whole recipe cost me $6, $9, $10, almost $11 to make the 3 cans. It equals $3.47 each. So you figure I have about $3.50 in each can. That's my material cost, not labor, nothing else. It's just $3.50 is what I have in each can. I am going to put these out for $18 a piece. Every product that I price, you know, when I first started was that whole, well, my cost times 4. It doesn't really work for me. And some of my products are, I get a very small amount of profit margin. But some of my products, I do get like 100% of profit margin. And so those kind of offset each other. So you have to have products in your line that have a really big profit margin to help control or to help balance out those products in your line where you have a real tight profit margin. And so that's kind of how I feel, and that's kind of how I set my price. I don't set my prices by that, but I don't feel guilty for having a higher profit margin on certain items, because like I said, that does offset my other items that I have not much profit margin on. So you just kind of have to play a balancing game. And so I think $18 is a fair price. This is a lot of bath. There's a lot of bath taking in this big container. And my hope is a bath salt will be something that somebody wants a pound or more of, because this is 17 ounces. You go to Walmart and you buy a pound of bath salts all the time, or Epsom salts, right? So my hope is somebody will not look at this and say, oh gosh, you know, that's a big thing of bath salts, when it's kind of normal to buy that big of a bath salt, right? So that's kind of my thinking. Maybe this weekend I'll get this up on my website and get some pictures taken. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. I sure appreciate your time. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to do better. I know I've just been all over. I've been all over the place the last couple weeks, and yeah, I have no excuse. Well, I have excuses, but who wants to hear excuses, right? I'm going to try to get my act together because I have quite a few really fun videos to bring you, and I want to make sure that I'm doing my best. And I don't think the last couple of videos I've taped have been my best. So maybe I'll get some sleep soon, and your next video after this one might be even better. So thanks so much for watching. Thanks for sticking with me. I sure do appreciate every single one of you, and I'll just catch you in the next video. Bye.